So I wanted to give you a tour of the CourseDen course that you've got, whether it's world history or it's U.S. history, it doesn't really matter. The elements are the same. So I wanted you to just have a clue. It's easier to see the screen rather than to try to read any instructions and those sorts of things. So here's your course home, of course. Your content is under content. This is your textbook, essentially. For this particular course, some courses have textbooks that are you purchase in the library or whatever, but this particular course has all of the content embedded in the course. So you have your table of contents, and this is basically your Start Here button. You have the research paper assignment, the syllabus quiz, the Introduce Yourself discussion, and that's what you really have to look at first. Then you have your units of information, the checklist, the chapters of the textbook that you're going to be reading, the quiz, and then any documents that are related to this too. So this is all of the course in one place. So this is where you would go to find that particular information. You can skip to, if you don't want to obviously go through all of this information, you can skip unit to unit. Communication is where you'll find your discussions and your email links, and then announcements. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, and so there's more than one way to get to your announcements, another way to get to your email and those sorts of things. But for your discussions, you can get to it through the table of contents or through the discussions. So you go to your discussion forums, and this is where you start. I have it set where it says must post first, and there will be a date when it's locked, only to try to get people to go ahead and not post 3 weeks late, or to think that it's fine to be a day late or whatever. So we have to keep moving. So there's a deadline on these discussions, and so they're already set. You have to post an original post first, which means you have to go in and click on the link to the forum, respond, and then you will be able to see these posts. Now, I've already posted, so that's how I can see these other people's posts. But if you haven't, if you haven't written an original post, you won't be able to see the other students' responses. You'll need to respond to at least 2 students in each discussion. In addition, so you'll have a total of 3. You're welcome to do more if you'd like, of course, but a total of 3 posts per discussion. Your assessments are where you find any assignments. For example, this is your Dropbox basically, and so for this course, because it's so fast, you have 1 research paper, and it's due on the 18th of July. You'll see your score here, your submission. When you have submitted, making sure that it has been uploaded, you should see a 1 here. Now, and then any feedback that I will provide when I grade it will be here. Also, if you need to resubmit for any reason, I've got it set so that you can submit more than once. Additionally, all papers go through TurnItIn.com, which is the plagiarism checker, and your percentage, your similarity should ideally would not be above 10%, but I can go along with 25% if in the right circumstances. But after that, that's where we start looking at plagiarism issues. So you can either submit, if you're worried about it, you can either submit your paper into a free online plagiarism checker. There are lots of those. Or you can submit it into CourseDen, and then if it turns out to be too high, then you go back and rewrite and fix the problems. You do not want to have a plagiarism issue for sure, because that just earns you a 0, and then you get reported to the university, of course. So it's a pretty big deal. So there's that. So if we go back to, I think that works, yes. Okay, so you also have your discussions here, as a grade. And then you have your quizzes. There are rubrics here. And then if you want to see your grades, you can go and check your grades here. And by the time you're done, you should have a grade for each of these. And I try to grade within 3 days. I try to grade faster than that if possible. But this is where you can find your grades. Resources, Library, Smart Thinking, University Writing Center, and the Center for Academic Success. So those are the most important parts. Here you can access your email, message alerts. If your internal email, not your West Georgia email, just your internal CourseDen email. And then your alerts for new announcements on the home page and those kinds of things. You'll see a little red circle. So I post a lot of information in the announcements, and so these will show up as we go through the term, and then they disappear, and then the new ones will reappear. If you want to go back and look at any of the announcements, just go back to Show All Announcements, and you'll be able to see all of the announcements that are there. So I try to make sure that there's plenty of information. These are called s'mores. These newsletters are called s'mores, and they have images, information, websites, videos, those kinds of things embedded in them. So it's worth your time to look at them, and I try to add extra information and resources for you. And then I'll post announcements when it comes time to get ready for the final exam or the quiz, the due dates for quizzes and those kinds of things. I try to post those as well. So if you've got any questions at all, just let me know. And I hope this helps a little bit with navigating the course in case you haven't used CourseDen before. Thanks, and have a great day.